listen.
Never in my life associated the word boring with baseball.
We know what's up.
Me? Yeah. Famous? Yeah.
And I'm like giddy over there smiling like, we're about to win this shit.
Did everyone give you crap? Give me a good host story.
I'm not picking it up.
We both love the game.
We talk about it every day.
Getting on baseball.
Having some popcorn, you're fooling around your phone.
I'd have to wait in line for 3 hours.
Hang on, because it's about to be a wild ride.
Guess what, Lucas?
What's up?
Who would I rather be talking to right now?
Nobody.
Nobody than Lucas Giolito. So we have talked in the past about cinema, about shows, but as a baseball player, you have the opportunity, whether you're on the road or whatever. This is your escape. It's always been your family's in the industry, so you're a good person to talk to about it anyway. But also, I think that you have a nuanced way of looking at shows. And all right. Okay. I do. So I want to get into your sort of take on, because I was thinking the passing of Norm from Cheers start making me think about it. You hear about that?
Norm,
the character Norm, George Wendt. He played. You ever watch Cheers, the show?
Oh no,
way before.
I'm
your
not
time.
a sitcom guy.
You're not. So perfect. Okay, we get in the sitcom. All right.
Sure.
All right. But before we do, I want to talk about the baseball and broadcasting of baseball. You were up with us a little bit in spring training. Because I can talk about this all day long, because I think, especially since the pandemic, it's changed, how people consume things. Mm-hmm. You get a chance once in a while to see broadcasts of baseball, how they're presented. It's not like it was 10 years ago. It's not like it was 15 years ago. But for you, where do you think that baseball broadcasting is going? And I know that this isn't sitcom and movies, but still, it's viewing something. In terms of how do you think that it should be presented, how it is being presented, and how it maybe needs to change? I start with attention spans.
How is it different than it used to be?
Attention spans. I think attention spans.
No, I know attention spans in general are going down, especially the younger generation. Studies have been done, TikTok
right.
and algorithms are doing stuff to kids' brains. But you tell me, how has a baseball broadcast changed from 10, 15 years ago?
I think it's become more conversational than ever before. So in other words, you had here's the pitch and blah 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 blah. Here's the pitch, white noise. Here's the pitch, blah blah blah. And then obviously they're desperately trying to find a way to integrate all this analytics, which a lot of people know about, but a lot of people don't know about.
Yeah.
So you're trying to do that as well. So anyway, that's my take.
There's definitely a lot more talk about the analytics, and it's he threw that slider and it does this. I feel like the announcers are explaining it a lot of the time. Whenever analytics gets brought up, there will be 20 seconds dedicated to this is what vertical movement
means. Isn't that the problem though?
Yeah. Man,
it's not an easy solution.
I don't know. I haven't thought about it. I've always seen baseball broadcasts as they are what they are. I think that the personalities of the two guys or ladies, whatever, in the booth are what kind of makes it, right?
But that's what I mean. It's personalities, right?
Yeah, for sure.
It's entertainment. It's conversational.
Yeah, the ability to carry on a good conversation, and then also how the team's doing, I think has something to do with it, because it's if there's a ton of blowouts, then you have to find some interesting stuff to talk about. I was in Chicago for many years, and Steve Stone and Jason Benetti had a kind of funny back and forth that they would do a lot of the time. It was their shtick, and I thought it was pretty good.
Yeah.
So I think that the broadcast, I actually believe the broadcasts, Nesson, for example, that broadcast, or, whatever regional sports network broadcast where it's the same two people in there, the color and play-by-play, that have a developed relationship. Like those are more entertaining than the national games.
National, because they're thrown together.
The national games are thrown together, and it's much more surface level. Whereas the guys in Nesson are going to have more details about certain storylines or things that
And also,
each player is
doesn't
going
it come
through.
back to, though, like sort of like you want to, and I'm anxious, you can disagree with me, but I was like, I want to feel like these people are sitting on the couch next to me commenting. And I think that's more so than ever. I think it's like when you were growing up, you grew up in the area of Vin Scully, which is, like, Vin Scully was almost hypnotic how good he was.
Yes.
That's an outlier.
Yeah.
But you just want to be able to, hey, like these guys are just talking and entertaining, and because if you aren't, you're going to tune it out. If you're not, this is maybe my way of morphing into sitcoms and movies. But if you're not entertained in this world, you're moving on to the 50,000 million other things.
100%.
Yeah,
And that's what that's where it's going with like a lot of more old school media and entertainment.
yeah.
I think that with like you said, the lower attention spans, you have a lot more interest in like short form content, like TikToks and whatnot, versus a baseball game, which the league has done everything in their power to make our game shorter and quicker.
Yeah.
Which has kind of worked, I think. But I don't know, baseball's kind of a slow burn, and it's like that's the type of thing it is. So
Do you have a hard time watching a baseball game? It's okay if you
not
do.
really.
No.
I think that I view baseball differently than like a normal fan would.
Okay.
For me, it's like when I'm watching it, it's like I've watched so much of it, and I have like a certain level of understanding of certain things that are going on, especially like the pitching side, that it's much more like analytical viewing.
It's what you do, yeah.
Yeah. Then as far as like watching baseball to be entertained, I don't really have that.
No,
I don't know if I ever really did.
to be entertained.
Yeah, going to a game was entertaining for me as a kid.
Yeah.
Like going to a Dodger game or an Angel game. I wasn't a big fan of like watching baseball on TV as a kid.
Yeah.
When pitchers that I admired were starting that day, I would tune in.
Okay.
But I didn't have a team I rooted for growing up. I wasn't like a Dodger fan.
By the way, there's maybe a whole different podcast, but having the pitchers, and I know baseball is desperately trying to do that. I was like, hey, we got the Giolito ticket, we got the crochet ticket. Like, that is like, okay, that gets you in the door. That makes you want to, anyway, that's another conversation. But when it comes to attention span, I think that we're agreeing on the same thing. I think we're agreeing like it has to be entertaining, more entertaining than ever, because like you said, you mentioned TikTok. It's going to come and go. You have a million different other things. You're moving on. You're swiping. I mean, even when you're swiping, you're like, I'm going to spend 2 seconds on this, or I'm going to spend 10 seconds.
Yep.
That sort of thing.
Yeah, and baseball's not designed like that.
Yeah.
It never has been. So, at a certain point, I think that it's going to have its base, it's going to have its fans, it's going to have people that are interested.
Just try to be as
keep doing what
entertaining
you're
as
doing.
ever.
Yeah, I mean, they like to do little things for that, like the entertainment aspect. Like they like to do the mic up a dude on the field.
You like that?
And I'm indifferent
you
to
pay
it.
$10,000.
Yeah, I'm indifferent to it. I've never been asked. I don't know when they ever asked. They don't ask pitchers to do that in the All-Star game, maybe, but
Yeah.
they do stuff like that. It's fine.
Okay.
I don't really have a solution. You can't change this game too much. Like it is what it is.
Yeah, and again, but we have to be aware of it, and that's why I mentioned the broadcast thing, because I don't think we can just roll out the same stuff and say, hey, everybody accept it. And I think it's a challenge, whether it's the analytics stuff. You said it yourself, like it takes like 20 minutes to explain F-WAR. But it's important.
Yeah.
But you're going to lose people while you're explaining the F-WAR. That's the problem.
Yeah, the stats and stuff, that's for a different kind of fan. Again, I wasn't that growing up. I didn't care about stats.
What was the coolest thing when you went to an Angels game? Say,
Rally monkey.
Rally. See, that's my point.
I went to the World Series in 2002.
Yeah.
Angels Giants.
Yeah.
The Rally monkey was sick.
I was like,
I was like 8 years old, 9. That was awesome.
But isn't that's what hits, right?
Yeah, Rally monkey hit.
By the way,
Dodgers games. You know, the Dodger dog and I don't know.
but that's why people scream and yell about Sweet Caroline here.
Oh yeah, Sweet Caroline's a classic.
But that's what I mean. It's like the old school rally monkey.
You have to do it forever.
Right, but the problem is that people say, well, you're down 10-2. Why are you saying it's so good? It's so good. But I think people who
Well,
sit
it's just a tradition.
yeah, people sit in the stands and are like, I'm looking forward to actually doing this. And then I'm leaving right after.
Yeah, I remember my first time here as a visiting player in like the 8th inning, Sweet Caroline, and I got chills. It was
Did you
awesome.
really? Oh,
yeah,
okay.
sitting over on that side.
All right, there
Yeah.
you go. This is an expert segue. What was your favorite sitcom growing up, since you didn't know Cheers? By the way, and so sitcoms are like, in case people forget what sitcoms are.
Curb Your Enthusiasm count as a sitcom?
Not really.
No. So Curb Your Enthusiasm is my favorite
That's because
comedy
it was
show.
taped in your neighborhood.
That's not the reason
All
why.
right.
It's because it's hilarious. But Curb Your Enthusiasm is my favorite comedy series
Ever.
by far.
What was your favorite episode? The dinner party?
Dinner Party's really good. I can't remember right now.
That's okay. Go ahead.
And then I enjoyed The Office, The American Office.
Yeah.
I liked How I Met Your Mother.
Okay. All right.
I watched that when I was younger. But that's really it. I didn't really watch any other sitcoms.
No, and we've already documented that you were not really aware of, your family lineage at Seinfeld or whatever, and so obviously it makes sense that you didn't know about Cheers, because Cheers really went Cheers, Seinfeld,
Friends?
kinda. I want to say The Office. I don't even think Friends. I don't know, but yeah. Okay, I'll give you Friends and then Office, and then it went from there. Did you ever go?
The Office isn't filmed like a sitcom, though. It's like Office was doing that kind of like mockumentary style,
Yeah.
which like, what else? What other big show did that? Modern Family.
Yeah.
So it's like half sitcom, but it's shot differently.
And the other thing, so did you ever go to watch a sitcom filmed?
Never.
You didn't. Do you ever go to like a movie set?
When I was like a baby.
That was
Yeah. I went. The only thing I remember really of going somewhere with my mom was when she had to do voiceover, like looping for Collateral Damage.
Okay, which we've documented.
Yeah, it's like because
Schwarzenegger.
the audio or whatever is not up to snuff when they captured it during the shoot. So you go in and you say your lines.
Right. So, okay, so we've established sitcoms and where that's going. But really, we had talked about movies before, and it comes back to the attention span, it comes back to people being lazy, and it comes back to, why can't we just go anymore and say, I'm going to go allocate 2 hours to go drive to a movie theater and watch a movie. And I just think that, and I'm guilty of this, I used to watch movies all the time. You're a big movie by yourself guy, right? I think, didn't you say that?
By myself, usually I go with a buddy or
Yeah, well, it's no shame in going to a movie
girlfriend
by
or
yourself.
whatever, but no, there's no shame in going to a movie by yourself. I don't know if I've ever done it because I've always been around a whole team,
Never
so
gone to a movie by yourself?
I don't know. I don't think so.
It's all I do.
I don't think I have.
But
my dad does.
Yeah.
No, I think that I've always had, I'm like in a team hotel, or it's like, hey, like in the group chat or whatever, hey, I'm
Go
just
to a movie.
go to this movie. Like, always had someone to go with, I guess.
So what I was getting is I basically I love going to movies. I went to movies all the time, and then the pandemic hit, and every time I want to go to a movie, I'm like, let's watch it on my computer, you know, which sucks. Like, it sucks.
Yeah, it's not the same experience, especially. Okay, so the reason I haven't seen either of the Dune movies is because when the first Dune came out, I missed the opportunity to go and see it at IMAX. And then the second one came out, and I'm like, I'm not gonna go see the second one because I haven't seen the first one yet. And so I haven't seen both of them because, like, I don't really want to watch them unless it's in that full format IMAX.
Right.
So I don't know what to do now.
Well, there's probably somewhere playing. They're the movie theaters that play the old stuff. You have to sit in the lousy seats usually, but
Yeah, but it's like I want to see it IMAX because it's like a completely different. Like I've seen comparisons of like shots of Dune on the IMAX screen in the full whatever aspect ratio. I don't know the numbers, and it's like you see this really grand, amazing shot, and then it's like, oh, if you were to watch on your iPad, it looks like this.
Right.
And it's like that's just not the same.
All right, that's fair.
So that's why I haven't seen them.
So, but you still go to movies, is what you're saying?
Yeah, that's the last movie I went to. Warfare.
Oh, okay. Not War Games.
No, Warfare. It's really intense action. It was directed by the guy that directed Civil War. I'm forgetting his name.
Yeah.
And co-directed by one of, I don't know if they were Navy SEALs or Army or Marines, but it was like, essentially the movie takes place in real time. It's like an hour and a half or 2 hours long, and it's like start to finish, like this mission that these guys were on, and then they're stuck in a house and they're getting RPG'd and all this crazy shit's happening.
Are you glad that you saw it in the movie theater? Over
Yes, but the movie theater I went to was not very good. The screen was really small. I couldn't believe it. Like, we walked into the actual theater, and it's me and Madalena, my girlfriend, like, we walk in, I'm like looking at the screen like, might as well have watched it in the freaking house.
Did I tell you, I went to a movie theater in Scotland in November. It was literally 2 rows of seats. And I felt the same way.
It was like a little home theater setup.
It was, but, you know, they serve beer.
Yeah.
Well, what's your go-to, by the way, when you go to eat?
Like...
Yeah, like Twizzlers?
So last year, living in the Seaport, when we would go to see movies, we would go to this theater that, like, has a full menu and they, like, serve you food.
Yeah.
So I would eat, like, a whole meal.
I don't like that, though, because then you start smelling like the fried shrimp in the middle of the movie. It's distracting.
The old school, like, typical stuff I like to eat in movies is just, like, the buttered popcorn.
Okay.
And some sort of candy, usually like a chocolate candy. Bunch of Crunch. They have Bunch of Crunch.
All right.
Yeah.
All right.
Or Milk Duds or something like that.
Oh, Milk Duds. Listen,
Yeah.
before I stopped having carbs, Milk Duds were like, I mean, come on. Anyway, so favorite actor right now?
Damn. Favorite actor right now?
Yeah.
Robert Redford. I'm just kidding.
Why? What's Robert Redford?
No, I'm just kidding. I'm trying to think of like a actor that's working a lot right now that I like.
Tom Cruise.
No. I can't think of anybody.
That's okay. Favorite director?
I'm thinking actors. I like Barry Keoghan.
Oh, yeah.
He's good.
Oh, yeah.
I just watched Masters of the Air on Apple TV.
Yeah.
And I don't want to give spoilers, but he's not in the show that long, but I like his character. What was the next question? Director?
Director.
My favorite director of all time or current favorite director?
No, whatever.
My favorite director of all time is probably Tarantino or Kubrick.
Okay. Oh, really?
Yeah.
Okay.
Full Metal Jacket.
What's your favorite Tarantino movie?
I think I have to go with Pulp Fiction.
Okay.
I also really like Reservoir Dogs.
Okay.
And then I like all of his movies.
Yeah. Well, Inglourious
Bastards, great.
Yeah.
Django, great.
Inglourious Bastards.
Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, great.
Yeah. Was that filmed in your neighborhood?
Probably
Do you live
around
like
it.
on Spawn Ridge?
No.
Glorious Bastards spawned my fantasy football nickname, my name, Inglorious Bradfords.
Okay,
It's
there
a
you
good
go.
one, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So the last thing is, and I think we've solved a lot of the world's problems, but the point is that we have to lock in on like how people can be entertained, right? Like this is it. Like this, it's kind of driving me nuts about how people can be entertained. So if you were going to do a show, you were just talking about wanting to do sort of this.
You didn't ask me my favorite actress right now.
I said actor.
Oh, as a general term?
I've learned.
That's better.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I'm the one being sexist.
Yes.
Great. But Patricia Arquette, incredible.
Ooh.
So I mean, she's been at it for a long, long time. But recently watching Severance,
Oh.
and went back and watched Ben Stiller's first show that he directed, Escape from Dannemora.
Yeah.
Wow, she's incredible.
Can I go ahead?
I played in Auburn, New York. Short season. It's a town built around a high security like prison. And Escape from Dannemora, I'm like, did they film this in Auburn? They actually didn't. I guess upstate New York has multiple towns like that are surrounding high security prisons.
Yep.
And they actually, in the last episode I watched last night, they referenced Auburn. They're like, oh, we're getting these COs from Auburn. They're by the book. And I was like, sitting next to my girlfriend, that's where I played baseball.
I think Batavia is
Yeah.
the same thing. Yeah. By the way, I think this is a Tarantino movie, True Romance.
I think so.
Yeah. So she was in that.
Mm-hmm.
Well, that's going way back.
Yeah.
Brad Pitt's one of Brad Pitt's best characters / life. Have you seen True Romance?
No. I missed that one.
Oh my
Okay.
goodness! Right,
Put it right on the
early,
list.
and he's like, he plays a stoner named Floyd,
Mm-hmm.
and he has a great line: "Don't condescend me, man." Oh my god! Put it on the T-shirts. All right, like I said, the goal was to define the sweet spot of how we can get people right now in this weird world of media / entertainment / whatever to like lock in on the good and the bad and everything else.
Get Kai Cenat in the booth to call a game. You don't know who that is. He's like the #1 Twitch streamer.
So you want to do that?
No, I'm kind of joking. I don't think it would work.
But that's the way that they're like when Major League Baseball hears something like that, they'll do it.
I was being
I know,
facetious.
but the problem is they'll do it and they'll be like, "This was a really bad idea."
Yeah, no. I don't think Kai Cenat cares about baseball at all.
No, but the problem that's the thing is that they're trying to get, and it's sort of like they're trying to get that attention from that, right? The TikTok, whatever it is,
Yeah.
like those people. And they're like trying to integrate it. You already see it without naming names. They already drop people in booths and you're like, oh.
I think it's important to stay true to okay. What do you think? I think the solution is you have to loosen up the media rights. You have to loosen up the what is it called? The
FCC?
regional
yeah.
sports. The way the blackouts, like my parents were complaining about the game being blacked out or whatever a couple nights ago or last night. Like you have to stay true to what baseball's about. Stay true to the game. Like don't do gimmicky stuff, but you have to increase access. So yes, you can do more social media, you can promote more stuff, do more TikToks, but allow other people to make TikToks or YouTube videos or whatever about baseball. I don't know if I feel like I'm seeing more of that like in my YouTube algorithm than I used to. So I don't know, maybe they are taking steps in that direction to kind of loosen up the restrictions that they have over, having a clip of an Ohtani home run or whatever. Like,
Do you know the story of Pitching Ninja? About how, Rob Friedman?
yeah, of course. Like, I know he had to like jump through all sorts of hoops, and
Major
then
League
eventually
Baseball
they
basically
were
banned
like,
him.
oh yeah,
And then they said, you can't take our highlights.
Yeah,
And then they hired him.
yeah, exactly. So it's like, don't do that. It's like, oh, here's somebody that's using our highlights, right? And they have a big following. Instead of being like, no, you can't do that, go, hey, how can we work with you? Mm-hmm. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And let's grow the game together. Which they eventually did with Pitching Ninja, and he does a great job.
That's my goal. I'm trying. I really am. So last thing is, if you could do a show, you had mentioned sort of doing the food show, like whether it's a food show, whatever. If you could say, I want to do this, like I want to do this type of show, a documentary, I want to create something, I want to, maybe it's 5 minutes long, maybe it's 2 hours long. What is the thing that you want to do? Like, what is the thing that would be like the most entertaining thing for you to do? That say, I would want to do this and it would entertain me.
Me?
Yeah, you. Like, you're a creative guy.
I haven't thought of any ideas of anything I want to do in that space.
Okay.
As far as creating something.
That's what I'm here to do. I'm here to workshop.
I know. You are workshopping right now.
But you already said it. You want to like be in the Anthony Bourdain, sort of like do that sort of
I would
thing.
love to do like a food thing. That'd be great.
Yeah. No, it's solid.
That would be nice.
I know that we'll just end on this. What's the most disgusting thing you've ever eaten? Because if you're going to do a food thing, you've got to eat like, things and...
I can't think of anything.
You're not afraid of oysters. You're not afraid of...
I love oysters.
Yeah, you're not afraid of like raw food. You're not afraid of squid. Nothing.
No. I'll eat anything.
Okay.
I'm trying to think of disgusting, like the bugs. I mean, I've done the bugs, but like
bugs.
there's whatever.
Yeah. So
I was very indifferent to the bugs.
All right, we're gonna put that on the T-shirt.
Yeah.
All right, that's good. Thanks,
Cool.
man.
Thank you.